So a while back, we rated the worst anime series on my anime list, and we saw for ourselves just how bad it was, right? Well, I also mentioned in that video that while it was the worst rated anime series, it wasn't the worst rated anime. No. That goes to a very special OVA that we're going to be talking about today. And if I watched it, you're going to sit here and watch me rant about the worst rated anime on my anime list. If you guys want to enjoy this video, of course, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content. We continuously strive to bring you guys great anime and manga content that you guys can enjoy and appreciate. And if you have watched the show I'm going to be talking about today, comment down below what you could have done otherwise in that 19 minutes you wasted watching that show. Alright, let's talk about it, right? The worst rated anime of all time on my anime list specifically, I should say. This anime is an OVA called Tenku Danzai Skelter+heaven, and it's a single episode that's 19 minutes long, made by Idea Factory in 2004. This show currently has a rating of nearly 1.85 stars out of 10. Yeah, 1.85 out of 10. That's very low, right? And it's on obviously my anime list. It is that bad. Alright, and Idea Factory, the people who have made this, never cease to astound me because they have this inept ability to come up with the worst possible ideas for their games. And yes, Idea Factory isn't an anime studio, it's a game studio. And in all honesty, you guys may have not heard about it, but Tenku Danzai Skelter+heaven is an actual game for the PS2, with this OVA being its tie-in. Fun fact, there is another anime out there regularly called the worst anime ever, and you guys might have heard of it. It's called Mars of Destruction. Want to take a guess on who made that show? If you thought Idea Factory, you got a bang on the head. Skelter+heaven is actually the draft to that very show, as Skelter+heaven was made in 2004 and Mars of Destruction was made in 2005. Idea Factory was already doing various tie-ins for games such as, Generation of Chaos, Spectral Force, and Gakuten Toshi Varanoir Juken. And, before these immaculate pieces of works came out, and, you could say that these were also, below average or just plain bad. What's funny to me out of all of this situation is that they had this show come out first, Tenku Danzai Skelter+heaven, and then they thought a few months later, like, you know what, we'll do the same thing all over again with Mars of Destruction. It's genuinely crazy. But anyways, we might talk about Mars of Destruction in another video if you guys want to see that. Today is all about Skelter+heaven. Let's get started with the synopsis to the story. In the far-off distant future, a mysterious floating entity appears in the center of Tokyo. In response, the top secret mission unit, the Altamira Agency, or AA, is commissioned by the defense agency to deal and repel this mysterious invader. Hunagai Otsuya, the one in charge of the robot training and the one responsible for choosing the lead girl who will receive secret training, and through said training will use the battle souls to push back the enemy even at the cost of their lives. The fact that the synopsis itself is misgrammared, because you guys could tell I was struggling saying that because half of it didn't make sense. And trust me, when I say this, the synopsis actually makes more sense than the 19 minutes of runtime we got from the show. It really is much better. I did not know what was happening, but I am going to try to make some heads and tails of the story as we go along. And once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go drink and in sorrow, quite honestly speaking, because I'm never gonna get the 19 minutes I wasted back, in all honesty. Let's start off with the story. Imagine a nuclear explosion mixed in with an asteroid the size of Jupiter hitting the Earth. That's how much of a train wreck of an anime this is. You've got the studio shoving in cutscenes from the game all willy-nilly with absolutely zero context about what the hell is going on, and then it creates even more useless scenes that do nothing with the plot apart from create more confusion. Like, for example, the whole scene was set up to combat this mysterious invader, right? And all of a sudden, we have this subplot of romance going on, which, I mean, it happens on a lot of mech shows and, shows in general, action shows as well. You have the main opposition and then this subplot of romance is going on. But then you have this backstory of these girls being, like, trained for all this time to be basically, like, emotionless robot. It really is very confusing. I am not gonna lie, I still have no idea exactly what happened there, but all of these extra subplots that were just being added on top of the existing plot was just super confusing. And add on top of that, I still don't know what the mysterious invader is. I'm not gonna lie. It just looks like a squid, if I recall correctly. I've completely forgotten it already by the time I'm recording this video. I just remember it was like gold colored, basically. Honestly, disgusting. It was really, really disgusting. And the big issue here is that it literally tries to do all of these things, you know, brings in the big issue of trying to cram in what is obviously a multiple episode story or even a feature film length story into like 19 minutes. Again, I don't mind the fact that there's all of these subplots, but it's just that how are you cramming it into 19 minutes? Nobody's gonna make heads or tails of it at all. And you can see that there is some form of subplot. Like I said, you know, there is romance, but it's got no explanation. There's aliens, no explanation. The meaning of why the robots and girls exist have no explanation either. And whatever themes there are in the story just have no explanation either. So to sum it all up, the viewer, which is you and I, will just be baffled and have no idea what the story is and find it meaningless. And oh, let me not forget the fact that a lot of the stuff that they try to, you know, insert into the anime, complete rip-offs of shit like Neon Genesis Evangelion. In all honesty, it really is just rip-offs of those shows, to be quite honest. The characters are, in all honesty, the best part of the show, and it's not because of how good they actually are, it's because of how ridiculous and funny they are. They are bland, cardboard-like, and sometimes they bring out the funniest reactions I've ever seen in any anime, especially one that's trying to be serious. Like, I think it was towards the end when the action sequence is going on, and the reactions that they would have would just be hilarious, bro. I would be laughing on the floor. And the last part is the problem, by the way. The characters that are shoved in our faces and the ones we're supposed to care about, you know, in this show, no, you don't care about it because it's a 19-minute runtime. You have no idea who they are. I still don't remember any of their names apart from the main character, and that's because I had to remember it because I wanted to put it in the introduction. And the clear ripoffs, it just never works. And not to mention what happens at the end as well, just invalidates every single plot twist and philosophical revelations that, you know, you may even think exists in the show. Plus, the fact is also, by the way, the out of context, you know, in-game cutscenes that they tried shifting into the anime for these characters and stuff, it's so poorly edited and spliced into the show that it had me rolling on the floor. Honestly, it was so funny. So funny. It's ridiculous how bad it was. And speaking of the cutscenes and, you know, the art and animation, let's talk about that now. You know, let's talk about that. Because it's yet again extremely bad, stiff, low effort. You have an adjective that goes along with bad, and you can probably apply it to this show because it all applies to this show, in all honesty. The 2D animation and art style feels like it's from an eroge game and one that's bad, but even then it feels like it's an insult to all those eroge games out there. The cuts and splices that were present in the show feel like the producers and directors were striving and wanted to make sure their goal was that we did not know what was going on in the show at all. And the 3D animation is so bad for 2004. I would even say it's even bad for the goddamn 90s. It was that bad. They are a small studio, so it's clear that they did not have the budget for this, but why try and attempt it, you know, in the first place? Why? Like, if it's bad in the game, sure, that's fine. It's a PS2 game, you know, it's an indie studio, fine. But why are you trying to translate that into the anime? It doesn't make any sense at all. You know, the anime is supposed to showcase what your game is supposed to do. It's doing a very bad job at it, mate. It really is. Like, for example, I'm gonna bring up a recent situation where there is a tie-in series, right? UFO Table. They do the stuff, if I'm not mistaken, for shows like not shows, sorry, but games like you know, Tales of Arise. I think they've done it for God Eater. They do the cutscenes and, you know, the anime tie-ins for those, and they look so much better, and they actually help promote the game as well. So this is the perfect example of what not to do. It's really bad. It really is. Let's talk about the soundtrack, because this is probably the only okayish part of the series, and that's me grasping for straws. No, I'm not gonna say that. No, 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 no. You know what? I have had enough of this. It is ass. It is so bad. The voice actors clearly did not want to be there. The music was really oddly placed. And frankly, the only okay thing was the opening, which they used as the ending as well. There is really no silver lining to this show at all. And I think the only reason why people have had it over 1 star is A, to troll, and B, probably because the opening was actually decent. And that's being gracious as well, to be quite honest. And while I do feel I've wasted 19 minutes of my life watching this over, it did have me bursting out in laughter at times with how bad it was and how it even got approved by anybody to be publicly distributed. And in all honesty, it's a pointless mess where, you know, if they just introduced the characters and mechs, it would have been okay as a show, in all honesty, maybe as just an introductory thing. But then we decided to get like 50 different subplots that nobody understood at all, and just found it really, really awkward, especially with the animation quality. This OVA is a clear-cut example of how to not edit an anime, and generally how to not make an OVA. This was a product that was produced and created with every step being wrong, and the viewers who watch this would genuinely be bewildered and confused as to how it can be so bad. And it's not the case of it being so bad to the point where it's good, because you genuinely are just sitting there for 99% of the show trying to figure out what the hell is going on and why you're wasting your time watching this show. If you want to go watch it, by all means, be my guest. You're wasting 19 minutes of your life, but otherwise, stay the hell away. This is not a good show whatsoever. I would highly recommend you just don't watch the show at all. Please, for the love of God, do not watch the show. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my miniature rant on this show, because in all honesty, I don't know why I wasted my time watching this show, but the content is the content. I had to make this video and I had to see it at some point in my lifetime. So once again, appreciate all of y'all for watching this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below if you have gone out of your way to watch it even after my warning. What do you guys think? I'm curious to see what y'all have to say. I mean, you guys might see some stuff on screen because of us putting some images and clips, but let me know what you guys think. I'm curious to see what y'all have to say down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been Gilride, signing out. Bye-bye, guys.